bro, I was watching that last one, and it got me to thinking.
Oh, you're a thinker now?
Yeah, I'm gonna write a book.
You're gonna write a book?
Yeah, it's gonna be a biography, and it's gonna be called How the EASHL Ruined My Life and Marriage.
If it's about you, it's an autobiography.
No, bro. It's all about you. It's gonna be a bestseller.
The following is a presentation of the 6HL and the 6HL media team. Hello everyone and welcome to this edition of the Season 13 6HL Owner Interviews. As always, I'm your host TJchalkboard, coming to you from the basement of the Legion of Doom headquarters. With each edition, I sit down with 3 owners, ask 8 questions, do some trivia, and have a little bonus round. These give the community a chance to get to know these guys better, but also allow them to show that they're more than just their digital personas. I had a ton of fun getting to know all these guys, and hope you enjoy these interviews as much as I did doing them. So, without further ado, let's get rolling. A member of the 6HL since Season 5 and another stellar goalie. Returning to ownership after a rough Season 12, he will be going for a change of scenery as the owner of a Western Conference team. He's been at the helm of some truly dominant teams over the seasons, including the Season 11 Minnesota Wild that made it to the conference finals. Since Season 7, when we started using SportsGamer, he's played in 153 games, has 72 wins, 64 losses, 17 overtime losses, and 4 shutouts, and boasts a fantastic 3.65 goals against average. He will be looking to make his way back to the playoffs in Season 13 and continue to display his experience in building strong playoff caliber teams. This aspiring author was friendly as he was well-spoken and a truly great guy to chat with. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome with me today the owner of the Season 13 Arizona Coyotes, Akira 7. How are you doing, Akira?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. Excited to have you with me here. I've been looking forward to this one. Another Western Conference team. Scouting Discords have just opened. Draft lottery coming up in just a couple of days, as well as the draft itself just around the corner. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty confident. I got a good group of guys right now that I have as my GM and AGM. Wilksy and Tree. I mean, they made it to the conference finals last season as the Blue Jackets. We already got a good list of guys that we are looking at, but we do want to make sure we cover all our bases and do a bunch of scouting and whatnot. So,
well, of course, with all the new faces that are in the league right now, scouting is going to be hugely important, especially at this point. More guys coming into the Discord. And again, just to remind anybody that's watching right now that there is until the 8th of February to make sure that you've registered for Season 13. On top of that, there's also the big look and the draft lottery. Where are you hoping to land?
Really, when it comes to the draft lottery, where you go, you kind of base your strategy differently. So it's sort of like, I don't really want to be in the middle. I don't want to be really high or really low,
yeah.
But we could get it done with any, order. So.
Perfect. Well, that's actually a good answer, right? I know some guys have a preferred position. Sometimes it's better to just kind of let it roll. And, that first pick is always the big one. So, do you have any questions for me?
I do not.
How about we get into the interview?
Yeah, all right.
All right, awesome. So, number 1, who is your favorite NHL team?
Toronto Maple Leafs, sadly.
Oh man, as a Bruins fan, I feel bad for you.
It's rough.
Yeah, I grew up in Toronto, down Briar Hill, Dufferin and Eglinton area. Spent a lot of time up in Bloor West Village as I got a little bit older. I know the pain of Leaf fans, obviously, that being the home market. I watched it an awful lot, but Bruins hockey at the end of the day always appealed to me. So, yeah, but I do understand your, on that note, since we're at the All-Star break now, for the for the actual NHL, who are you hoping that the Leafs get in the first round? Is it Boston or is it Tampa? Because it's going to be one of the two.
It doesn't matter. Championship teams win regardless of who you play in the first round, and that's kind of been ever since the first 2018 series with the Bruins. I've kind of just been on this, felt like, well, we got to get past somebody. It's going to be somebody, and regardless of who we play, we got to win in that first round in order to get the second round and the third round. And championship teams don't really make excuses.
Well, I can tell you right now, unless it's my Bruins, I really hope that Leaf Nation finally gets their first second round appearance, and I think it's been 13 or 14 seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's actually no. I think it's been like 18 seasons, so 2004.
Oh my God! Yeah, wow, dude, even longer than I thought. Yeah,
and then count in all the Game 7 losses.
Yes. So moving on, who's your favorite all-time NHL player?
That's a tough one. I started watching hockey in the Toronto Maple Leafs. Like, I started watching the NHL before Matthews was drafted, so I don't really have like a big all-time favorite.
Yeah.
But I've loved Shane Doan. I don't know why.
No, you know what? That's a great pick. Shane Doan, massive, not a massive guy, but a massive presence out on the ice. A great big power forward. You know what I mean? He's got the skills. He can beat you. He can beat you with the body, but he can beat you with the hands too. That's actually a great pick. How about your favorite current NHL player?
John Tavares, easily.
Tavares, yeah. Yeah, really weird to me last season, after coming back injured from the playoffs the year before. How many of the fans in the Leaf fandom actually seem to, be crap talking Tavares, despite who he is. Like, he's coming back from an injury. Of course, he was going to be a little bit slower, but it seemed really weird to me, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, the Leafs fans get a bad rep for either like overhyping their team or being overly critical.
Yeah.
I don't really like. I mean, we have a lot of fans, but I just don't really see that all the time. Like the overhyping.
Yeah.
We were pretty realistic about John Tavares. We were super excited, and he had a massive first year with the Leafs.
Yeah.
I don't really want to call it regression, but he hasn't really played up to that first season level. But I mean, he's on the second line. Getting mostly second line minutes.
Yeah, and I think, like, to that point, I think it's actually been a good thing for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I'll go as fast as I can here, but I think it's been a good point for the Toronto Maple Leafs actually splitting up Marner and Matthews and putting those two back together, who again, when going back to that season 1 with the Toronto Maple Leafs success, was his line with Marner, right? So you're starting to see some of that return, and it's obviously a good thing. Now, myself, I'm a giant foodie. I love cooking. Come game night, any celebration, I know exactly what it is I want. What's your favorite food?
Man, I love food in general. I mean, I'm a pretty picky eater.
Yeah.
But I really like a good chicken Alfredo pasta. A nice pasta.
Nice, good pasta dish. Hearty with that Alfredo sauce. I'm a giant fan of Alfredo sauce myself too. Yeah. Especially the homemade
shrimp Alfredo.
Ooh, yeah, shrimp. You're making me hungry here. So aside from the EASHL league play, obviously ownership now this season, do you have any hobbies?
I mean, besides video games, I really like writing. I'm a huge writer. I'm planning on writing a couple novels in the next few years, but
wow,
it's kind of a slow process as I'm in college and I'm always busy with that.
Wow, that's great. I wish you all the success in that. Love to get a look at some of what you've been writing at some point. That would be great. You've been in the 6HL now since which season?
Season 5.
So. Looking back to season 5, obviously back then it was the SHL. What has been like? So looking back from then to now, what was your what your favorite or most memorable moment?
I think first I have a couple, but I think like first stepping into the league is kind of a nobody, and then I became sort of the I stepped in as a goalie for the Rangers with Bald Helmsley, and that team was, I think, one of the best teams I've ever been on. And we didn't even make it to the finals that year, which was, I mean, the league was very top heavy, and there was like at that time there was just a few teams that were just super good, and the rest were just But I think kind of like making my mark, like kind of hitting the ground running. And then the next season, I was on Montreal with Deeks and Frisch. Love Frisch, by the way.
Oh, yes, Frisch.
Made it to the finals. Still kind of as a nobody, I guess. But that, and I really enjoyed season 11 with being the GM with Psycho.
Nice. Yeah, like I know, right? When you first step in, like, being a former PlayStation player coming over to Xbox, obviously there was a little bit of hesitation to kind of bring me in from some guys on a PlayStation player. And you know what? I fully get it. The competition is completely different on this side than it is on the PlayStation side. But yeah, trying to make your mark, trying to step in, find your role, find your place, is and when you get there, that is a great feeling. And 100% on Frisch. Frisch, probably one of the best guys, hands down all around in the league. It just
I've made a few good friends along the way. It's pretty hard to make friends in a league like in the ESHL league, but I've made a few really good friends. I know Miss Mercury is one. I brought Estel and Dylan Zaramone into the league, and we've been friends for a while.
Zara, like that guy.
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah.
He knows how to run a team, so.
Well, moving on, when it comes to the success of this season for your Phoenix Coyotes, what does or will success look like for you guys?
I'm not really one to have super high hopes, so I'm pretty cynical about how things go. But I want to make the playoffs in a pretty stacked Western Conference, and not having the season that I did last season, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm grateful for. I'd be grateful for just a playoff appearance, but anything we obviously strive to do, the very best, but I got to be realistic about it,
Of course.
Just making the playoffs is what we want. So far.
On that point, in terms of success, like, so for you yourself now, like, as you said, you've been around since season 5, your skills in the ASHL as they've built, what do you attribute your success to? And for any younger players or guys who are actually just getting into league play, what advice would you give them?
Well, I sort of attribute my success to just being a goalie here, I guess. I've tried to dabble in, playing forward a bit. And I feel like I'm decent, just not good enough to, be a permanent presence as a forward. But honestly, I don't really have much advice to give to the newcomers except keep working at what you want to play. You got to keep working at it. And if you're trying to become better at it, my whole motto as a goalie was to blame yourself for everything until you got good enough to where you could blame other people,
Yes.
I started playing goalie in like NHL, like late NHL 20, because my buddies we never really had a goalie. We always played with CPU goalies, and we hated how they were either good or bad,
Yeah.
But really, it's gonna be in this league as high in talent as there is. There's gonna be a lot of times where you feel like you're not, like, you're kind of put to the side for players that, like, other players that people trust, that they drafted and whatnot. Make best with what you got, and just kind of you gotta make friends too, I guess.
Yeah.
Make best with what you got, and don't really give up.
No, I couldn't agree anymore, right? You know, any time in that chat that, you know, they need an ECU for that night, make sure that your name is in there, right? Like they're calling out a TC, put yourself out there. Get out there, put in the grind, make the mistakes. You're only going to get better.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, well, those are the 8 questions. Are you ready for a little bit of trivia with Chalk?
Sure.
All right. So 3 questions for you here. The first one, can you name the original 6 NHL teams?
Toronto Maple Leafs, Montreal Canadiens, Boston Bruins, New York Rangers, Chicago Blackhawks, and why am I drawing a blank?
Oh my God, you were so quick on those first 5.
Why am I drawing a blank? I'm missing someone.
Oh my God, it's right.
Oh, Detroit Red Wings.
Yes, there it is.
45
You got it.
from there.
You got it. You got. I was worried there for you, man. I'm like,
I don't know why I was drawing. It's one of those like things where you know the answer, but
Yeah.
like you just can't get it out. You know.
No, I know.
Okay,
So
anyways,
it's
yeah,
easy
I
to
knew
draw
it.
blank. All right,
I'm
question.
not stupid.
No, dude, you got it. You got it. 100%. I wouldn't say you're stupid at all. Question number 2, and this one is a little bit of a wordy and a thinky question, so I think you might actually get this. There are only 4 teams in the entire NHL that do not have an S on the end of their name. So obviously the Red Wings, the Rangers, the Maple Leafs, and the Canadiens out of it that do not have the S on the end of their name. Can you name at least 3 of them for me?
Kraken.
That's 1.
You got the. Wild.
Yeah, that's 2.
Lightning.
Yeah, there you go. That's 3. And the other
I
acceptable
gotta go
one,
through the list there, yeah.
yeah, was the Avalanche.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the Avalanche after that. If you asked for the 4th. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, those are the 4 teams that do not have the S on the end of their name. Last question here is multiple choice. Who was the first NHL player in? Who was the first player in NHL history to score a full strength, power play, shorthanded, and empty net goal in one single game? Was it A, Gordie Howe, B, Phil Esposito, C, Mario Lemieux, or D, Maurice the Rocket Richard?
I'm gonna guess Richard.
No, it was actually Mario Lemieux.
Oh, damn
Yeah,
it. All right.
yeah. Again, another one of those guys, one of the absolute best. All right, man, that is it. We've covered everything, but I do have one more fun question for you. Like I told you in the text, there's a little bit of a bonus. I just need you to answer this for me the best that you can. For fun, who is the best mascot in the entire NHL?
Oh, that's a tricky one. I love Carlton. He's so cute, but
Yeah.
he's not the best one. I think Slapshot is so badass looking. I don't know why. I love Slapshot.
Oh, nice.
Stanley C. Panther's a great one.
Yeah, a little scary.
Yeah.
Hands down, who's the best?
Oh God. I gotta go with Slapshot.
Slapshot.
I love Slapshot.
All right, you are only the second guy not to pick Gritty. As far as I'm
Really?
as far as I'm concerned, Gritty is the number 1 answer.
I think it's hilarious. Yeah,
Dude,
I love Slapshot.
Yeah, no, fair enough. We love who we love. Again, with all that done, Akira, thank you very much for your time. This has actually been great chatting with you. I wish you, as well as the Arizona Coyotes, all the luck this season, especially, as mentioned earlier, in a tough Western Conference.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Not a problem. Have a good one, buddy.
Yeah, you too.
Now, this one was a little bit different. I was set to sit down with Ranty, an up-and-coming D-man in the 6HL and member since Season 12. Looking to take the reins of a Western Conference team in Season 13, he came off a season in which he posted 35 points and a combined 112 interceptions and takeaways in just 27 games with Arizona and Montreal. Unfortunately, just prior to our call, he had a family emergency and was unavailable for it. Allow me again to wish Ranty all the best and know that our thoughts are with you on behalf of myself, league staff, and the entire 6HL community. However, wanting to still take part in the owner interviews, Ranty reached out and offered up his GM to take part in his stead. So, another member since just season 12, this left defenseman had 29 points in 21 games and also played with Arizona and Montreal. With the draft plan in order, this Calgary native was excited for scouting and was worried about letting down the boys during the trivia round. Having played a few games with him, I can tell you that they will be a fun group to play with and a very tough opponent for anyone to play against. This guy was a whole lot of fun. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome with me right now the general manager of the Las Vegas Golden Knights, Austin Riidge. How are you doing?
I'm great, thank you. How are you doing?
Not too bad. Really appreciate you doing this for me in Ranty's stead.
Yep.
I know you guys are obviously busy working on scouting right now. Yesterday was the lottery draft. You guys ended up in a pretty good spot, I would say, personally.
Yeah.
Getting that 10th pick.
Honestly, perfect.
Yeah, exactly, right in the middle of the pack. So you kind of you can see what everybody's going after in those first picks, and then kind of make up your decision as to where you're going to go from there, and you're not waiting quite as long for that second pick, which is always a good thing. With that in mind, right? Obviously, working on that, doing the scouting, and the draft obviously coming up now in less than a week. How are you guys feeling going into season 13?
We're feeling pretty confident. We really got our foot in the door there last season, especially with the Christmas tournament and all that happened.
Yeah.
We really got some good eyes on who's good and what's going on. So I feel like we already got a list already done up, and we're already molding our team to hopefully what the future could look like for the team. So
it's
looking good.
That's absolutely awesome to hear. I like to hear the confidence. Definitely you guys are in a tough Western Conference, so wishing you the best of luck, and hopefully with my busy schedule, hopefully I'm able to get in for at least 1 or 2 scouting games with you before scouting is done.
Of course, we'd love to have you.
Awesome. So with that in mind, how about we move on to the questions?
Yeah, fire them away.
All right, here we go. So the first question is, who is your favorite NHL team?
Actually, I'm a born and raised Calgary Flames fan.
Attaboy, nice. That's Calgary's a beautiful city. I'm over here in worst case Ontario, but I definitely love Alberta. I'd give up the lakes for the mountains any day of the week, brother.
Yeah, I love having them in our backyard for sure.
No, for sure. Looking at the NHL, all time, who's your favorite player?
Growing up, I was pretty diehard Jerome McGinley fan.
Nice.
Pretty
Iggy.
classic.
Iggy.
Yeah.
Love Iggy.
I loved watching him play. His grit, his ferocity on the ice. He was just an animal. He whipped the shit out of you, bro. You'd score. You'd do it all. He was also the best guy off the ice too. So.
Yep, and one of those guys you feel bad for as you got, him and the Flames getting burned in the Stanley Cup Finals. That's still, I think, a really, really touchy subject.
It was in, man. It was in.
Yeah, but again, Iggy, I can't disagree with that. He's probably one of my favorite players, especially being a member of Team Canada, being a little bit older, getting to watch all those games. That was absolutely fantastic. A great guy, great team guy. So in the current NHL landscape, who's your favorite player?
Honestly, I have to say one of the new up-and-coming stars. I love watching Tage Thompson. He's just an animal out there. I love everything he brings. Him or, honestly, Jason Robertson. He's a major standout. Yeah.
No, two solid players. I'm definitely a big fan of Tage. For the size. watching some of the things that he does, some of those skills, some of those moves, like we've seen a change in class of, what I mean, some of the smaller players coming into the NHL, but Tage Thompson is bringing some of that size back along with skill, and that is so dangerous, and I think that's the next evolution in the NHL, and it's great to see.
It is. He can do it all. It's insane.
Exactly. When guys like that can beat you all ways, it's going to make the game real interesting.
With the speed and with the size, he's going to be insane for years to come.
Oh, so dangerous. So when it comes to, game day, I'm a little bit of a foodie myself. Game day celebrations and everything. I know what it is that gets me going. What's your favorite food?
Honestly, I'm a huge protein guy, so I love to get into anything protein. So ribs with potatoes, get all those carbs, protein. I love all that.
Nice, yeah. Carb load, hockey diet, bro.
yeah. I'm all about it, especially with going to the gym and stuff. I'm out of hockey nowadays, but when I was back into it, that was all I was into.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm pretty big on that. Give me a big plate of pasta and some chicken parm, and I'm golden.
That's awesome.
So aside from EASHL play, obviously, you're in management, general manager here, which congratulations, by the way, getting the nod as a general manager this season for the Las Vegas Golden Knights. What hobbies do you have on the side?
On the side, outside of hockey, well, I work 9 to 10 hours a day. And then after I get home, I hit the gym, and then I carb load, just as we just said, and just eat, and then I get on for the gel grind.
Nice. Are you on the rigs or?
No, I'm a third-year gas fitter, pipe fitter.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I've been doing it for about 4 or 5 years, but I had a major injury about a year or two ago.
Oh no!
But I'm back at it. Yeah.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear you're doing better now. I'm sure you had some
Thanks.
time to hone those NHL skills while you were.
That's exactly what happened.
No, I know exactly how that goes. So I know you've only been in the 6HL since last season, season 12. Plus, you did the holiday tournament. So basically, you got 2 portions of the 6HL that you've been a part of. But in that short time, can you tell us what your favorite or most memorable moment within the 6HL has been so far?
Oh, there's so many moments, honestly. One big moment, I got a couple. I'll list off 2 because I don't really have a big. But I loved my time in Arizona with Ricky Mad there. But Arizona wasn't going to make the playoffs, and then Ranty and I both got dealt in that huge 7-way trade to Montreal.
Yep.
And that was really exciting. And either that or getting the first 6HL win with Arizona. Honestly, that just felt good to get under the belt, with the boys. All the boys were pumped. We were kind of struggling the first couple, so when we got it, it was just like a hurrah moment,
Oh no, for sure. I came into the 6HL myself in season 11. I was picked up by the Edmonton Oilers. I got traded a while later over to the Boston Bruins, and yeah, I know exactly that feeling. Getting that, getting those first points, getting that, that actual feeling, getting your groove. Is hugely important. I think I think that's what makes this league special, because some of the guys have been around for so long. There is that built-in community, and those moments they really do matter because the guys actually celebrate with you, and I think that's awesome.
It was good. It was a nice moment with the boys,
Perfect. So again, I know we already touched on, obviously the scouting now open. You have, I'm sorry, my cat's meowing in the background.
No worries.
Yeah, so scouting is now open. We just finished up with the lottery draft. And like I said, the draft less than a week away. For you guys in Vegas, can you tell me what does or will success look like for you guys in this coming season 13?
I think a huge part of winning games is chemistry, just major chemistry with teams. I've seen good teams lose. I've seen bad teams win. It's all about chemistry. Yeah, you can have star-studded players, and it's nice to have a couple of them in your corner, but it's all about the boys just bonding and a good flow on the ice. That's the main part.
Yeah, for sure. like I constantly tell guys, you know, it's a matter of leaving the ego at the door. You know, take the criticism. You know, guys that have been around a little bit longer that have some better skills than you, they're not trying to put you down. You know, they're trying to make you better. Nobody wants to be a shitter. But if you can't take the criticism, you're always going to be a shitter. So
For sure.
that's definitely
Exactly. You got to be open, right? You got to be open to everything.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Get that
the best player.
exactly. Try and build that chemistry and keep the toxicity out of it.
Yep.
So finally, you know, you've obviously had your successes here. I'm sure not just within the 6HL, but within the EASHL community. There's other leagues, you know, and you've seen your successes. So when it comes to league play, what do you attribute those successes to, and what tips would you give to younger players or guys that are just getting into league play for the first time?
Honestly, it sounds like we just kind of discussed. Like, I honestly think like just listening to like good players and good play, like what they know, and in certain situations, and just trying to not getting mad or thinking you're bad or anything, but just try to implement those skills or try to use use your space on the ice. You know, you gotta just be smarter with the puck, make the passes. You know, you just gotta listen, and that's all it's about. You gotta get better every day. You're never gonna win if you don't get better.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, when you're a defenseman, you know, I think one of the biggest things, you know, that I quickly learned was, you know, when you're playing at this level, you know, you're a defenseman and you're trying to go for that outlet. Don't be afraid to turn back. And, you know, if you're the other defenseman, kind of watch what your guy's doing and make sure that you're in a spot where you can get back to the boards on the other side, right? So that, you know what I mean? You can cycle it back and kind of open up some ice to move that puck out.
I feel like a lot of guys with that feel that pressure to make that quick pass right away, even if it's covered, because they feel like there's going to be three guys telling them to pass it.
Yeah.
But like, it's at the end of the day, it's all about possession, right? Like,
exactly.
That's what wins.
Like if you think you got those moves, skate it out, right? But don't be afraid to skate it out and don't half-ass it. 100%, I fully agree. That's it for the questions. You ready to get into some trivia with Chalk?
Let's get it.
All right. Question number 1. Can you name for me the original 6 NHL teams?
Montreal, Toronto.
Yep.
Boston.
Yep.
New York.
Yep.
Nope. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I actually didn't get into these. St. Louis.
Oh no.
Oh, Chicago. It was Chicago.
Yep. Chicago. One more.
Fuck. This is gonna look so bad on the boys. Shit. What is it?
It's Detroit.
Oh, how can I not think of that?
Yeah.
On the spot, man.
Yep, the Boston Bruins, Toronto Maple Leafs, Chicago Blackhawks, New York Rangers, Detroit Red Wings, and the Montreal Canadiens were the original 6 NHL teams.
I know that too.
All right, so question number 2 is a little bit of a thinky question, but I think you can get this one. So there are only 4 teams in the entire NHL that do not have an S on the end of their name. So the Vegas Golden Knights, the Leafs, the Flames all have an S on the end of the team name. Can you name for me at least 3 of the 4 teams that do not have an S on the end of their name?
Seattle Kraken.
Yes, there's one.
It's give me 2 secs here.
Hey, no looking at it, man.
Seattle Kraken.
Yep.
And I'm not looking it up. I'm just trying to think.
Think of think of recent Stanley Cup champions.
Capital. No, they all have S's. I'm drawing a huge blank. Oh, the boys are gonna hate me. I'm so sorry. I just smoked.
No, dude, you're good. You're good.
I don't know. I can't even think of 2 right now.
Oh man. Are you give up?
No.
All right. I'll give you a few more seconds here. You got the Seattle
Avalanche.
Yes.
The Avalanche.
Yeah, there's one Stanley Cup champion.
And the Tampa Bay Lightning.
There you go. There's the other Stanley Cup champion. And the
I don't
fourth
know why I was lacking so bad there.
and the 4th team is the Minnesota Wild. Yeah.
Another. Another moved franchise.
Exactly. Well, newer. All right. The final question here is multiple choice. So I'm going to ask you the question. I'm going to give you 4 answers. You tell me which one is right. Who was the first player in NHL history to score a full strength, power play, shorthanded, and empty net goal all in the same game? Was it Gordie Howe, Phil Esposito, Mario Lemieux, or Maurice the Rocket Richard?
Lemieux.
Damn right, it was Mario Lemieux, and that's one of those. I don't know if you know, but the best part about that was that he actually did it during the dead puck era. Right, so like to accomplish that, the scoring all 4 ways in one game during the dead puck era, that was completely unheard of.
It must have been insane back then. I wish I was around for that.
Absolutely. So you didn't do too bad. Nailed 2 of the 3 trivia questions. That's better than some guys did. So I think we definitely got some bragging rights there. This has been an absolute pleasure. But before I let you go, I do have one more question for you, and this one is just for fun. There are no bad answers. There are wrong answers, but there's no bad answers. So I want you to tell me for fun, who is the absolute best mascot in the NHL?
Ooh, that is definitely not Harvey the Hound.
No.
That is definitely.
Actually, one of the guys brought up Harvey the Hound in one of the videos, and I think I can't remember which coach it was that I said that did it, but it was actually Craig McTavish pulling out his tongue in that game when he was leaning over the boards. But who is the best mascot?
I honestly think Edmonton has a good mascot. I've always liked Hunter, but I've also always liked the Flyers mascot.
Gritty,
obviously.
Gritty, which is the right answer. How can it be anybody other than Gritty, right?
Exactly.
That guy's just an absolute beast and a whole ton of fun. So that is it. All right, Austin, thank you very much for sitting down and doing this with me. It was an absolute pleasure having you. I'm wishing you and your Las Vegas Golden Knights all the success this season, especially in what is looking like it is going to be a very sweaty Western Conference.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate the interview, and I'll see you out there. It's going to be fun.
Sounds
looking
good.
Forward to it.
Sounds good. I'm looking forward to it as well. We'll talk soon.
Awesome. Talk soon, for sure.
And finally, with the last interview, this next guy is yet another goalie and a member of the 6HL since season number 8. Coming into his first season as an owner, this guy knows exactly what it takes to win a cup, as he was the attendee for the season 11 Buffalo Sabres. In season 11, he went 14-3 through 17 games with a stellar 2.94 goals against average. And in season 12, he was 17-4 with 2 overtime losses through 23 games, beating his season 11 goals against average with an impressive 2.73 GAA and putting up 4 shutouts. This guy seems ready to cement himself as a dominant force in 6HL management and knows what it will take in this season's draft. This real-life baseball and hockey player has a great attitude and a championship mentality. His team-first mentality and defense-first approach will make him a guy to watch during the draft and all the way through season 13. He was fantastic to speak to and another great guy. I just wish I hadn't been losing my voice at the time, but here he is. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome with me today the owner of your season 13 Detroit Red Wings, Bambino in the house. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing alright. How are you doing?
Not too bad, not too bad. Been looking forward to this one and definitely glad to have you with me. We got through the draft lottery last night. I'm still a little tired from last night. You can see the bags under my eyes right now. How are you feeling about the position?
I like it. You get the snake at the end of the round, so
yeah,
we'll figure it out somehow. Still looking at guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Hope we can put it together.
Yeah, and you get the couple picks close together. With obviously with the draft lottery out of the way, like you just hit on, your scouting. So scouting camps are fully open. They've been open since the weekend. The draft now a little less than a week away. How are you guys feeling going into season 13?
I feel pretty good. Hopefully, this is my first season, so I've got a lot of help from Lindell. Hopefully I can pick up some of my friends, play with a lot of them this season. Make a playoff run. I'd be happy with that. A lot of credit to Lindell, though. He's done a lot for the team so far. So.
Yeah, he's a great part of our media department. You know, it was great to see him end up on management for a team when he told us he was going. You know, we were all happy for him, and it's good to see that. You know, he's going over there to help you, and hopefully you guys are able to put together a great roster.
Yeah.
You know, in the conference that you're in. So if you're ready, why don't we get into the questions?
Sounds good.
All right. Number one, who is your favorite NHL team?
My favorite NHL team is the Sabres. I grew up in Buffalo, so I gotta stick with them.
No, fair enough. That's awesome. The Buffalo Sabres, definitely a good pick. I'm up here in Ontario. Buffalo's not too far away. Tried to get out to some Buffalo games, especially when the Bruins.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, when the Bruins are playing there, it's definitely my time to shine. It's a little bit cheaper than Toronto, to say the least.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Looking at the history, who's your favorite player, NHL all time?
All time, I'd have to say Ovechkin.
Ovi.
Just love watching him. Yeah, I like watching him get open. He finds space every game. It's just amazing to watch him just get open and just score.
Oh, 100%. And it'll be interesting to see how far he gets into the scoring title. Into the scoring ranks all time. You know.
Give him 2 more seasons. He keeps the pace up, and he's been looking good.
Exactly. It just seems like no matter how old he gets, he can't be stopped.
Yeah, exactly.
Just a fun guy to watch, and an amazing shot, an amazing 1-2. You gotta respect it. When it comes to the current NHL, obviously Ovi is still around, but do you have a new favorite player, like somebody that you watch and you're like, oh my god, that guy's just so good?
Yeah, that would have to be McDavid, hands down. Just so fun to watch. That dude just create plays and get around people.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of sour about that draft still, when Buffalo should have had that pick, but
yeah, no.
I try to. Anytime Edmonton comes to Buffalo, I try to get to those games. I love watching them play.
No, for sure. Some of the other guys I mentioned him, and it's the only thing that I can say is, you watch the highlights, you watch the plays, and the guy seems, almost inhuman in the way that he plays.
He's just on a different level. It's crazy.
Exactly, those handles, those skills, it's just absolutely top notch, and really, I think the future of the NHL.
Oh yeah.
And it looks good. It looks very, very good from where we are, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm a foodie myself. I know when it comes to game day, when it comes to celebrations, I always like to have that special meal. Tell me, what's your favorite food?
My favorite food, probably my go-to, just be Eggo waffles.
Nice.
I'm hungry and I just want to make something quick. Just make some waffles. Throw some cinnamon on them.
Yeah, dude. I got some Eggo waffles in the freezer. I like the buttermilk. A little bit of butter and then just some maple syrup. Absolutely fantastic. Great way to start the day with a solid breakfast.
Oh yeah.
Now, obviously, you're in ownership this season. You've played EASHL, but aside from playing, league hockey, do you have any other hobbies?
I'm a big baseball player. I played baseball my whole life. I played hockey until high school. I played junior B for half a year, and then I quit to play baseball. But it's still a blast. I still try to play baseball when I can, but other than that, I'm just working. I also like to travel a lot, so I'd say those are my biggest ones.
That's great. Getting to travel. Those destination vacations. It's great. It's a great opportunity to relax. Great opportunity to unwind, and before you get back to the grind, you need that little break every now and then. So you've been in the 6HL now for how long?
I think it's around 4 to 5 seasons now.
Right.
I came in on the very end of season 8. Played for Riidge.
Oh man.
Yeah, Montreal. I got a game in with them before. I think I joined right at the end of the season, so I didn't get my 10 games in.
Yeah.
But that was a lot of fun. I love Riidge.
Oh yeah, dude. I can't say nothing but good things about the guy.
Yeah.
I've played with him in other leagues. just you know, one of the nicest guys, one of the most
Oh yeah,
most locker room
easily.
guys, and a great guy to play for, especially when you're
Oh
coming
yeah,
into a league and you're trying to get comfortable and you're trying to know people. To end up with Frisch, I think is
yeah.
definitely a pretty good thing. So with that being, so now that's 4 seasons total, I guess,
Yeah.
putting it all together. What has been your favorite or most memorable moment from your time in the
Um,
6HL?
that would have to be with the Sabres. I was on the Sabres when we won a few seasons ago with JT and Matavis. I love Matavis.
Yeah,
He's an
JT.
all-star.
Yeah, JT,
Yeah.
another great guy.
Yeah, I love JT.
Yeah, another Frenchman. Love that guy. He's a whole lot of fun.
Great guy. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And obviously, winning the cup had to feel pretty good.
Oh yeah. That was great. I played with some great guys, and that's a great group of guys too. So
Oh, 100%. Um, so for you now this season, we already, earlier we hit on the draft lottery being done now. Scouting is open, so you and your management team obviously going hard every night to try and scout as much as you can, try and find those best guys. Draft coming up, but looking towards the start of season 13, can you tell me what success, what it does or will look like for the Detroit Red Wings here in season 13?
a success for us right now is I think we just got to make the playoffs. I'm like a heavy believer in just like there's 2 seasons. The first one's just getting to the playoffs, and then when you get to the playoffs, worry about it then.
Yeah.
Since this is my first season, I'm gonna hopefully Lindell could kind of coach me through it a little bit if I need help, but hopefully get the right guys together and make a push for it and see what's working and what's not, and just go from there.
Right on. Well, you definitely have some good help there with Lindell. It's actually funny.
Yeah.
We were joking about it, and I had completely forgotten about it. I came into the 6HL in season 11, and I can't even remember who it was I was playing a few games with, but Lindell was in there, and Lindell was the one that actually invited me and sent me the link for the Discord server for the 6HL. If not for him, I wouldn't be here today.
Yeah,
So,
he's a great guy. I love him.
yeah, another fantastic gentleman within the league. So with talking about the success, you yourself, you've had your successes obviously within the 6HL, within EASHL and other leagues. When talking about that success, what do you attribute it to, and what advice would you give to younger players or guys who are just getting into league play themselves?
Playing in a league, I'd say a lot had to go into the positioning, especially being like pretty much a goalie the entire time. Positioning is huge, and I think that goes for like any position out. Playing around, just be where you're supposed to be, and most of the time it'll be successful. I think that would be my tip for players coming into is just like the speed of like a league compared to just playing clubs or something like that with your
Oh, yeah.
friends is a little faster, and you gotta kind of have your better reactions and all that kind of stuff. But positioning is probably the biggest thing.
No, 100%. I fully agree. Positioning, chemistry, and being able to take criticism, I think are hugely important.
Yeah.
Points. Remembering that guys aren't trying to crap on you; they're trying to help you get better, and being able to take that and work with it and try and get better at every level of the game.
100%.
Well, that's it for the questions. Are you ready to do a little bit of trivia here with Chalk?
I can give it a shot.
All right. Well, I think you'll do all right. Let's see what you got. Question number 1. Can you name for me the original 6 NHL teams?
We got the Chicago Blackhawks,
Which one?
Detroit Red Wings,
Yep.
Toronto Maple Leafs,
Yes.
Montreal Canadiens,
Yes.
Boston Bruins,
Yes. One more. They're southeast of you.
oh my god, how do I forget this one? It's on the tip of my tongue right now.
Oh, so close. So close.
I can't think of it right now. I don't know why.
It's the New York Rangers.
It is. Yep. Oh man.
Yeah, the New York Rangers.
Yeah,
Well,
I was just I was thinking around there. I don't know why I didn't. Okay.
yeah, you know what, dude? That's not too bad.
It's
Five
close.
out of 6, pretty close, and you got those first 5 pretty quick. So we'll definitely give you points for that. Question number 2 is a bit of a thinky question. So I'll explain this the best that I can. There are only 4 teams in the entire NHL that do not have an S on the end of their name. So obviously, like your team, the Red Wings have an S on the end. The Maple Leafs, Montreal Canadiens, right? Rangers all have S's on the end of their name. Can you name me 3 of the 4 teams that do not have an S on the end of their name?
First one that popped. Well, no, the first one that pops in my head is the Lightning.
Yep, that's one.
Let me think here. The Minnesota Wild? Yeah,
Yep.
Wild.
Yep, that's number 2.
God.
Think of another recent Stanley Cup champion.
I know. I was just thinking a new team, Kraken.
Yes,
Correct,
the
okay.
Seattle Kraken. There you go. You got 3, and the other one was the Colorado Avalanche.
That was okay. Yep.
Yeah, and those are the 4 teams. Where you go, you got that one. The last question here is multiple choice. I'm going to read the question for you. I'll give you 4 answers. You tell me which one is right. Who was the first player in NHL history to score a full strength power play, empty net, and shorthanded goal all in the same game? Was it A, Gordie Howe, B, Phil Esposito, C, Mario Lemieux, or D, Maurice the Rocket Richard?
I'm gonna have to go with Lemieux.
Damn right, you got it, buddy.
Yeah.
You did pretty good. See, there you go. You did pretty good on the trivia all the
There
way
we go.
around. You got 2 full. We'll give you a partial points for the first one. And that's what I got for you, man. This was an awful lot of fun. I'm glad you were with me, but I do have to ask you one more question before you go. This is more just a matter of fun, simply a matter of opinion. I would say there's no right answer, but I think there is a right answer. Can you tell me who is the best mascot in the entire NHL?
That'd be Gritty.
Damn right, there's Gritty.
Has to
And
be.
yeah, you know, most of the guys have picked Gritty, and I don't think there really is any other answer. You know, there's a lot of good mascots around the NHL, but bang for your buck, Gritty is number 1.
Oh yeah.
Thank you
I
very
love watching the videos.
Oh, 100%, dude. Like, since he came into the league, it was just like, wait,
Yeah,
what
it's
is
hilarious.
this? And, you know, Philadelphia is known for it, right? Like, even the Philadelphia Phillies and the Maniac.
Yep.
You know, just they apparently know how to do mascots really well there in Philadelphia. Bambino, thank you so much for joining me tonight. You know, I really appreciate your time with how busy you are. You know, I wish you and the Detroit Red Wings here nothing but the best of luck in season 13.
Thank you.
I look forward to speaking to you in the future.
Yeah, thank you again. Yeah, this was fun.
Right on, buddy. I'm glad you had some fun, and we'll talk soon.
All right, thanks.
No problem. And that is it for this edition of the 6HL Season 13 Owner Interviews with your host, TJ Chalkboard. I hope you've enjoyed them just as much as I have enjoyed doing them, and I always do appreciate you watching. Don't forget to give us a like on all of our socials. You can find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. As well, you can watch all of our live streams every time we do them on Twitch. And hey, if these are being released today, that means it's draft day, baby.